when it's live. Just put it on, just put it straight on, mate.
Hey, I don't know what time Carlos is gonna get ready to push, but I'm the only one that pushes too, so I'm gonna have to. I don't have anybody to rally.
she is. Sorry we are as late as we are, however, better late than never, eh? So, what you will see now is a fully self-sufficient crew. Amazing what these guys can do. The Antonov Design Bureau involved in this whole project right from the get-go. Now we're going to see this nose, the whole system of opening this nose. The front gear will fold up under itself to allow the nose and the ramp to be at the right angle. It's a really impressive operation, and that's only the very beginning of it. They don't like to smile, a lot of these guys, I can't be honest with you. You won't see many smiles cracked. You might see the odd little bit of banter, probably them taking a mickey out of me or something like that. But you will see the crack in the nose, and she will lift up and squat down. It is an amazing thing to see. Stay tuned. That's not the cargo, folks. Right, that's it, they're off now. During this operation, I'll be mobile as well. We'll be walking around the aircraft. Very interesting wing aerofoil. The wing itself is something that we'll talk about as well. Purely their own engines as well, the Prem engine, high bypass turbofan engine. We'll have a close look at that undercarriage setup as well, which is massively impressive. But what is really impressive is this squatting of the aircraft. Now, what we will do... Okay, so that's the APU shutdown. APU is actually, the APU system is actually inside the, or thereabouts, around about the main gear section. Now I'm estimating somewhere in the region of possibly 2 to 3 hours will be the loading procedure. You'll see the rear doors come down, the rear deck come down as well. That's the unique thing about this aircraft, is that it has a rear and forward load capability. Yes. So in the back of the aircraft is where a lot of the systems are. Yeah, all that. There's a lot of overhead cradles which can carry a considerable amount of weight. It's very impressive. Now here we go. Here's the first one. He's not going. What's he doing? Oh, okay, pitot head covers. I think he's putting a pitot head covers. Okay, here we go. Pitot tube covers on. Obviously to make sure that they don't get fouled up with anything, bugs or water or ice or anything like that. Pretty big pitot tubes as well, eh? It is a fascinating aeroplane, and we'll obviously talk more about it as the day goes on. We were very lucky, very fortunate to get that taxi because I was still standing in a parking lot when the aircraft was landing. But right, should we have a little walk around? Do you want to do a test of it around? Try that. Are you there? rush of getting Everything all right? Everything all right? One thing I do not want to miss is this. This is very impressive. No way. Chili's telling me apparently there's somebody on chat who's flown this aircraft. Not the simulator, Chili. They're not having you on with the simulator, are they? Oh, wow. Really? Okay. All right. Okay, so a lot of people are probably watching now and thinking, right, well, what do we do now? Well, this is a joint operation with Antonov Airlines, and it is great, I have to say. It is an absolute honour to be here doing this with Antonov Airlines. A lot of people who follow Big Jet TV will know that I've been on their backs for many, well, I say many years. A good, since we started Big Jet TV, I've always been on at Antonov Airlines, the UK operation, that is the UK arm of Antonov Airlines. So much so that the guys that I was talking to have since retired, sitting at home having a nice retirement. But this is an Antonov collaboration. They are obviously providing the aircraft. ACE Airline Cargo Express are the handlers. Alex is here with me. He's going to be documenting it as well. And of course, ACS, the brokers in the UK, they're the guys that you can see there in the logo, the triangular blue logo there. And those are the guys that are sort of have put the whole operation together. This is a very interesting piece of equipment, which we can't say who the client is, but it is an Asian client, and it's very interesting how much information we have on it. 35 tons. Now the thing is that I did actually speak to Alex, who's dealt. What's that? Oh. Well, Nigel Clinning, one of our members, has flown on this aircraft with 120-ton freight load. That's seriously impressive. But what is interesting about this particular piece that you will see going on this aircraft is that I spoke to Alex, because they did a smaller piece a little while back, which was they were able to get it onto a 747, interestingly enough, through the side door as well. So that shows how much smaller it was, because obviously the most important thing when you're dealing with this kind of thing is the measurements of the piece itself, and in terms of actually turning it sideways to get it through the door, and then turning it and getting it in position. Obviously on a 747 needs to be slap bang in the right place in terms of weights and balance, as they will be doing with this particular piece of freight today. But I think that it's around about 18 tons is the maximum single piece that a 747 can take, between 18 and 20 tons, whereas this beast here, the largest heavyweight cargo jet in the world, and isn't she a beauty? The Ruslan An-124. The piece that we have coming in is 35 tons. It's a big old lump of metal, which is a heat exchanger. It will be used for Indonesia's premier petrochemical producer. Those of you who watch some of the sports, namely the motorsports, will probably know who I'm talking about. I don't want to mention them, but it's pretty obvious who it is. They have an integrated plant incorporating world-class state-of-the-art technology and supporting facilities. The heat exchanger, this particular piece of equipment, has been fabricated here in the US. So congratulations to the US in doing this, urgently needed by the client to keep production running, so we are going to document that entire load procedure. Now the other thing that you'll notice is that there's a lot of infrastructure inside this aircraft. When they open up that nose, you'll see all the ramp systems, the rails, and so on and so forth. They're basically building a rail system that, and the heat exchanger itself is on its own skids. They will lift using the crane. And hello to Ross as well. Is it Ross? Yeah, Ross Jin, who's familiar with this whole process, because he actually operated this aircraft at Los Angeles a couple of days ago, or was it this morning or whenever, or yesterday. And very interesting how this aircraft is obviously doing the routes here in the US at the moment. She's going to be heading out tomorrow morning, then heading up to Anchorage for a tech stop, which will just be a fuel stop, and then on to the client in Asia. But very interesting how this whole system will operate. All the crew themselves are self-sufficient. They don't need anybody else in terms of helping them with the loading procedure, too many hands and all that kind of stuff. But let's have a quick walk around. I'm not going to miss. KGP, you need to let's just get that out of the way over there. Wicked here. So you can kind of see her age up there, but developed by the Antonov Design Bureau. Look at that, obviously designed in that specific way. You can see the how the nose system operates there. We're going to go up on the flight deck a little bit later on as well. The crew, some of the crew are coming off. I think they're going to be obviously taking their suitcases and all that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly whether they're going to be heading off. But this is high, folks. This is a high wing jet as well. It's a different type of, I think you have anhedral and a dihedral wing. But I think anhedral and dihedral is based on the fact that it goes up to down. I think that's anhedral. I might be wrong, and I'm sure that Jill is going to tell me that people are correcting me on that. But the specific way that this wing is mounted is a specific design concept, and very unique with the Antonov jet. Here are these beautiful Creme engines, multi-bladed, as you can see. They've had a fair amount of work, haven't they? Wow, yeah. Cool is that. Lots of people have the model of this jet, of course. Yeah, so do I. And I actually have a model here as well, which is in my bag, which is now in the back of Adrian's car. That will no doubt be back in the they are what? Transfixed, you say? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about the wings. Look at this, folks, for a set of undercarriage. How impressive is this? I think that beats a 380 all day long, doesn't it? I think in terms of her wingspan, she's about 3 feet short of the A380 wingspan. Can't really hear your APU, that's what's making all the noise. Probably not going to be able to hear me, I'd imagine. If I nip round the other side to get a better look at her. Oh, you can smell the rubber, man. Smell the rubber. Wow. Yeah. She's looking dated, but then wouldn't you if you did the kind of mileage that this thing does? Originally designed, I believe, as a military transport aircraft, but brought on as a heavy lift cargo jet. She's beautiful now. I'm just trying to get all these different shots across the bows. Now, I think I'm a little bit tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, GP. Stand by. Oh, here comes the, here it comes now. Dun, 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 dun. There's our loading crew. Hey, here we go. Led by Adrian, I think, from ACS. Or is it WFS? I think he is. I think he's WFS. Wow. So this is a big operation, folks, with military precision. You will see. There's the cargo itself. They're going to take the tarp off of there at some point. 350-ton crane. Ross will be watching that. Big bird Ross. And all his backup as well with the plates, because of course you can't put all that load on those wheels, on the axles, because it'll just blow them apart basically. Oh, okay. Okay, so I've just found out something, that apparently that is not the auxiliary power unit. The APU is actually located in the rear of the aircraft, much like a conventional jet aircraft. I wasn't aware of that. That is not apparently the auxiliary power unit that's down there by the main gears. So these are all ancillary parts which are going to be used for the crane. These guys have been literally waiting here all day, folks. They're going to park the piece right there. Can't get that into a 747, too heavy for a single piece on a 747. Now all these are sort of like counterweights and balance weights and stuff like that. These circular plates that you see there are quite a significant part, because they will go underneath the jacks on the truck, which are these ones here. So they will, those feet will take all the weight. And you see by the size of that hydraulic ram there that they do take their stuff. Proper hack, proper hack. Proper hack. These are fun. Nice to go right in. Can I grab my bag, fella? Are you going? Are you going? Oh, okay. I just want to get my bag. Thanks, mate. Cheers, fella. Hold on, stand by.
Hey, buddy, are you at the gate?
Thanks, Daniel.
No.
Can you close that, or do you want me to? You want me to close it? You got it? Thanks, mate. So the crew themselves, the flight crew, are going to be heading off to the hotel. You're watching, man. The geezer's watching us. So love it, man. Proper Americans. Yeah, you're going to see some very impressive stuff, folks. Don't know whether or not, because I've got this for Dimitri, you see, folks. Got this model which came from Russell at Gemini Jets many moons ago. He asked me to hand it to Dimitri. Whether it's going to make it there or not, I don't know, but I'm going to hand it over to him. So I think what we'll get first is the crew are going to come off, the flight crew that is, and then we're going to see the nose operation and the whole squatting system, which is really impressive. Yeah, we've got to do that, mate. My watch is going mad, mate. The watch is going mad. Keeps vibrating every 10 seconds. That's Alex there. He's one of the. He's overseeing the operation on behalf of the folks in the UK. So that is not the AV unit. What did he say it was, Billy? Get right up and have a little look at it. Hydraulic pumps. Okay, well they'll need those for the nose operation. So you can see the rear ramp as well. Wow, that's loud, man. There's a hatch up there. Yeah. Okay, so we're having a little meeting in there. That's the cleanest Antonov high-vis I've seen all my life. Normally they're very grubby, but like this one. Oh, here comes the honey truck. Don't look, folks. Lavatory services. And make sure you put it on suck and not blow. So that's unveiling it, unveiling it. Bosh! Hardcore, man. Otherwise we've got a face mask then. But we need it. Stand well back. Tons and tons of Pasca. Oh, he's got a big one in there. Can't get it through, look. Hold on, this is blocked. There we go. So they're unveiling the heat exchanger now. What I'd like to do is just go up and say hello without filming them. Fuel truck already. Interesting. Obviously got a lot of things to be getting on with. Okay, this is the impressive part. Well, first impressive part, should I say, of the operation. So that's exposing the ramp now, as you can see. Don't look like they're strong enough, those rams, do they? But they are, trust me, they are. So they've got some plates. I think the rear ramp may be open now. Now, interestingly enough, if I can get this, I think it's like a a little bit premature, the fellow with the fuel truck. First thing you'll see is the guys will come out with a couple of pads to place underneath those discs, which will obviously support the aircraft, believe it or not, whilst they fold that undercarriage up and forward. You can see the pads there on the ramp system as well. But those undercarriage will remain up and no longer holding the aircraft up. The aircraft will be supported literally by these two pads here. Obviously evenly distributed the weight and everything, but really impressive how that whole system works. See the designers frantically working on that back in the day, of course. Just have a little look in here. Only 55 of these aircraft have been built. 1986 started production. I have no doubt that somebody's going to tell me which line number this particular aircraft is. Just want to find out what the there we go. So it has, believe it or not, a crew of 6 folks. That's the flight deck crew we're talking about here. The pilot, obviously, the co-pilot, navigator, chief flight engineer, electrical flight engineer, radio operator, and 2 load masters. So that's an impressive number of crew to operate this aircraft. I think these guys are waiting. Waiting for the bus, first of all. Here's something moving. I will obviously. Wow. That's just basically a giant version of the heat exchanger that you'll What do you mean? 124 or what? remembered actually that. In terms of live, that's an interesting thing. That we're going to see this whole thing unfold literally right in front of your eyes, folks. It's a fascinating thing to watch, and that. Couldn't figure out what that was before, could we? When we saw it last time. Thought it was for the mail or something like that. It's actually an emergency escape chute for the crew, which is quite interesting. Believe it or not. That's going to be stored outside for the time being. It will be reinserted later on after the operations have completed. Look at all the stuff they've got, apart from their pots. It's lovely. Yeah, big thank you to Daniel, of course, for bringing us over here, getting us over here. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, she's 69.1 meters or 226 feet in length. She's got a 73.3 meter wingspan, 240 feet. So kind of a bit like the A380, if you know what I mean, in terms of her width and length. Not a lot of difference in the two. Sitting at a height of 21 meters, 69 feet, wing area of 628 square meters, 6,760 square feet. Now she's got an 8.6 aspect ratio. I'll have to look that up unless somebody can enlighten me on that one in terms of what it really means. But what is interesting, and I looked up this morning, and something that people can discuss, especially the technical ones amongst shop, is the airfoil, which is basically the wing that we're talking about there. The wing itself and the specific design of the wing is a TSAGI supercritical. I think that's all based on the pressure and airflow over and under the wing. The different pressures that obviously build up, lower pressures over the wing, higher pressures under the wing, giving that lift. And she is, as are most aircraft, TSAGI supercritical. Here come some pretty impressive figures here. She has an empty weight of 181,000 kilos, 181 tons, 399,000 pounds. She has a maximum takeoff weight of 402 tons. So that's including freight, fuel, and anything else that goes with it, which is amazing when you think about it. Maximum landing weight of 330,000 kilos, 330 tons. Fuel capacity of 210 tons. Now all this stuff that they're bringing off now is to do with the ramp. This is all the ramp's assembly system, which the Antonov Design Bureau have developed themselves. That alone weighs in at around about 8 tons, we believe, and this is going to take quite a bit of time to remove this, and of course those beautiful engines which are unique to themselves, unique to Antonov, They are the Progress D18T high bypass turbofan engines, producing around about 51,000 pounds of thrust on each engine, which is really impressive when you consider she must have a very effective wing, because you know, when you look at your Rolls-Royce 800s, the Trent 8s, 9s, the GE 90s, all that kind of thing, spitting out around about 90,000, anything from sort of like 60, 80, even the twin engine, the A350 with the XWB engines, pumping up as much as 100,000 pounds of thrust per engine. With these 4 engines only producing 200,000 across the board, it's across the whole aircraft. Just goes to show how efficient the aircraft and the aerofoil is on this particular aircraft. She has a cruising speed of 537 miles an hour, 865 kilometers per hour. Approach speed, like everything else, around about between 120 and 140 knots. Got a range of 3,700 kilometers with a maximum payload, so that's pretty impressive. An 11 ferry range, which is when she's empty, maximum fuel, minimum payload, around about 14,000 nautical miles. Now these ones that you're seeing coming off here, this is part of the ramp system that you can see, the supports, and they will just fill the whole of that aircraft. More of the it's just see right across that wing, really impressive. Pardon me. Had to get that. Sorry about that. Okay, let's remove this. Now what we're going to see at some point is the now you're going to see these overhead lifts which are up here. Now they're going to be used quite extensively during the operation as well. A lot of the time they're actually used to bring this equipment out as well, or move it around inside the cab, inside the fuselage, or the loading area, the loading bay. Side view of it, side profile. Gonna get away from the crew. Nice one, guys. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, because they'll probably be flying it out, I'd imagine. So these guys very patiently waiting. They've been here all day. If they only lived literally 10 minutes down the road, or operational about 10 minutes down the road. Give them a little bit of love, shall we? Be very patient all day. Crane Masters Incorporated, and here is the piece itself. Interestingly enough, doesn't look that heavy, because it's an aluminum alloy of some description, isn't it? That is definitely some aluminium. Well, actually, saying that, you can't. It's got to be some type of aluminium, hasn't it? Purely on the basis that it's been welded, because you can. There's some alloys that you can't weld. So some incredibly impressive welding going on there, that's for sure. So as you can see, she's got her own skids that have been manufactured for it. Whether they're going to be, I doubt they're going to be discarded and recommissioned or. Cool. Just repeat that, GP. Super chat. No? Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Are we going to do that? We're going to do that tomorrow, or we're going to do that today? There's our men, patiently waiting all day. All right, fellas.
What's up, man?
Let me just go and have a word with these guys. See if they. So we're just we're having a discussion, folks, about possibly setting up a charitable gift. I'll need to find out from you, Julie, exactly what it is, but let me just go and have a quick word with these guys.
that's really cool.
So there you go, folks. Your crew are very, very grateful to your charitable open arms, as you always are. It is an amazing thing to behold, and the great thing is it's going straight to them as well. So so thank you to everybody, I have to say, who's getting involved in that. And interestingly enough, one thing I didn't notice, that on the nose of each of their aircraft, they're operating 5 of these An-124s, and on each of the nose is the name of their city, of a city. So this particular one is, I think it's Babucha, is it possibly Babucha or Mabucha? Let me just so these guys are going to go off to their they're off to their hotel. I spoke to a legend earlier on, Dave, who works here at the airport. So if you look at your screen sideways, folks, be brave like Mikhailov, I think that is possibly how that is pronounced. But every aircraft has one of their major cities emblazoned on the side of the aircraft, and we of course support them wholeheartedly. So as the offload procedures continue, you can see, I have to say, the last time we saw the ramps, they were a lot more, they weren't as solid as these ones. This ramp system, that whole ramp system will eventually go together like a giant that's where the sticker's going, mate, right on there, isn't it? That's where the sticker's going, mate. 100%. Wow, a grand already, so. Wow, thank you, folks. Wow, thank you so much. Wow. Of course, these, each and every one of these crew members got family back at home. Some of them in very dire circumstances. Hello, how are you? Good. You with Antonov, yeah? I'm Jerry from Big Jet TV. Very nice to meet you. It's going to take best part, I believe, the best part of an hour at least to get this whole system offloaded and then the ramp built. Giant Meccano set. That's what I was thinking of. Meccano. Of course, again, a big shout out to all of our friends at Antonov, Daniel at WFS as well, and Alex, who's here with ACE, is it? There's so many names involved in the operation. Let me just have a quick look here, because they do deserve a lot of shout outs. ACE, Airline Cargo Express, they are handling it on behalf of ACS in the UK, and WFS are also involved, and that's who's brought us out here airside. Thank you to Daniel, very kind of you to dedicate your time, especially on a weekend as well, folks. It's a Saturday, of course. Well, I think over there in the UK it's crazy o'clock in it. Well, actually not too bad, 22:11, so that's not too bad, is it? But so we should have it. If you're in the UK, we should have it by the time the clock strikes 12. We should have a significant amount of work completed, and that is in the UK, of course, not here. But I can imagine that these guys are going to be working through the next couple of hours flat out. That's what they do. That's what their skill set is. And taking a break at the moment. At some point, they are going to open that back up, I would imagine. Just a quick one. I know, it's just shocking. Thanks for all the love you're showing, folks. Really appreciate it. Generous, kind bunch of people you are. So all of this stuff that's coming off here is the ramp system, the rail system that will take the skids. If you remember the piece that they built for the operation in Italy, that we did with our friends at Fract. Much the same kind of operation, but a much lower profile skid system for this particular piece. Reason being, obviously, is because there's obviously, even an aircraft like this, there's a height restriction, and you only need it at a certain height to make sure that you've got enough support on it, and then that can be recycled. All the steel that's used for that can be recycled when it goes back.
the oh right, yeah. Okay. So folks, I'm going to tell you now. I just went up and spoke to our friend who's overseeing it, the manager from Antonov. We basically have an offload procedure which will take around about another hour, we believe, and then the assembly of that over there into the I think I might move actually to the other side. Have I got which side have I got light? That will take approximately 2 hours to assemble, maybe even a bit longer, 2/3 hours, depending on yeah, overall 9.9 thousand pounds raised. Is it dollars or pounds, Jim? Is it dollars or pounds? Wow, 9.9 thousand, just short of 10,000 US dollars, folks, for our friends in Ukraine. And this is, of course, going to help those who are in critical need of support, be it a blanket, you know, be it you know, food for their kids, and I mean, obviously, you know, in some parts of Ukraine, life is kind of still going on as best as it possibly can, but there are a lot of parts of Ukraine where people are massively suffering, and therefore, as a result of that, you know, they desperately need help, and you know, relief efforts are continuing as best they can, and it's great to see that people are being so generous. Thank you for that. International. This is a big rail system coming off now. Now this is part of the track system you can clearly see here. It's a lot more sophisticated than the last one we saw, I've got to be honest. A lot more sophisticated. The last one didn't have rollers on it at all. They just literally dragged it up there, so that's going to make life a lot easier for the electric motors to start with that power the pulleys. Of course, like I said, they've got overhead hoists, but at this point in time they're not really being utilised. they using the hoists? That's 10 tons as well, those hoists. Pretty impressive, man. Airport, isn't it? Disarm it. So now this is interesting. Taking those off. So they're done with the right. Okay, so then now they're going to start. I think you're fine, folks. They're going to start taking off that that short ramp system. So they're done with the forklift, which I'm sure a lot of people will be happy that we haven't got any more, etc, etc. Now they're going to start putting the ramp together, utilising all their skills. It's quite interesting that just looking at that system there, obviously, you know, seeing what the just doesn't look like it's enough. Okay, interesting. Yes, okay, I can probably... Okay, now this is interesting. This is now this is what they did before. That's why, remember when I said earlier on that they're going to put some plates underneath those pads, those pressure pads there. I think these are now going to go to raise the ramp slightly. That's why it's not being closed. Strategically positioned, because they need to basically lift it back up again. $10,000 raised for supporting Ukraine. Folks, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful people. Okay, so now they're going to be raised. And then in order to increase the height of the ramp, they will place these pods underneath, by the looks of it. To install the equipment, you need to remove part of the ramp, Alex saying. Okay, what are they talking about? Removing those pads altogether? Are they uninstalling? Doesn't look like it. They've looks like that's been. I think they're just changing the angle potentially, and then they're going to let the ramp sit down on those pods that you can see there. Here it comes now. Not film. It's movie night. Leveling it up. This is critical right now, is making sure that everything is level, because you don't want this whole assembly being even slightly off in terms of the angle when the sled is eventually put into place. So Alex Assa sounds like he's, yeah, he knows his stuff. Now the technicians will install special guides. They have rollers. Yeah, these are obviously can be adjusted on their own spindles. Now what is interesting is that the those rear ones are now redundant by the looks of it. Interestingly enough, so all the major weight will be put onto the. Now out comes the ramp system once again. Ooh, he's gone a bit. He's had his ready brek this morning, hasn't he? Blimey. What's that all about then? Yeah. No, he's just had a lot of ready brek. That is because of. Let me just move this over here, see if it makes any difference. So I'm getting quite a lot of light pop. Yes, that's what it is, mate. That's what it is. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Let's just see if this side is any better. Not really, in terms of lighting. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. see the ramp is being literally extended now. Well, when I say extended, the height of it is going right up because these tracks will now replace the ramp parts that we saw earlier on. Now, to be honest with you, all I need to do is just have them so that they bite onto those discs. Not sure what he's planning to do with that. It's not a rain on this one. We do have the relative required already starting to disassemble that system there. Final supports going into place now. I think these ones are possibly oh, they are spun. No, they are spinners, yeah. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Wherever you tuning in from, well, there's Randy Bushbound. He's in the US. I know I shouldn't mention it, but Randy, I would be very, very careful about what. Don't phone. It's the only thing I. Yeah, do not make that call, Randy. Is all I can suggest. Be very careful. Steve Hitch running like a Swiss watch. Yes, albeit a very well used Swiss watch, but he's right, you know. Now, here's your level. I think this is getting that level right now. He's straight. He's making sure that when they pinch that up, that the base of the ramp will meet that bottom of that. Oh, it's going the wrong way, isn't it? Oh. Or are they happy with that? Is that within tolerance? Easy, son. I think that's within tolerance. Very good then. Gareth, Sunset Shepherd. Very welcome back, Gareth. Boomerang, all clever stuff. Jan Stanland. All the best, Jan. Take care. Might want to set your alarm for like 5 hours or something like that, and you'll literally see the completion of this part. First part of the ramp going into it's literally as it goes, folks. Here we go. Now you're going to all see it literally take shape. Very clever stuff. Anyone feeling sleepy? Look into the engine. Don't look around the engine. Look into the engine. Now, make you fall asleep. You're feeling sleepy. Wow. Crazy, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just that the positioning is obviously they need to wow, done it so many times. He's just turned up with a load of planks of wood. What's that? Those hydraulic lines look so fragile. They're out in the open. Dutch Taurus saying hydraulic lines. Where are we talking about here? There's Alex. And there's that fella there's the geezer driving the truck with the cargo on. And there's our man Alex taking some pictures. Steps going back up. We're going to go up on the flight deck tomorrow, folks. The crew have very kindly invited us up there tomorrow on the flight deck. That's going to be fantastic. Nice bunch of fellas, I've got to say. Really nice bunch of fellas. Alex looking after, he's got the WFS jacket on, of course, alongside Daniel. Again, I've got to say thank you to Daniel so much for accommodating us and bringing us out here as well. We're eternally grateful, put it that way. Thank you, my friend, and to everybody else who's made this happen as well. It literally was a lastminute.com arrangement. I was on the golf course when I got the first call from Valeria. Well, message, should I say? And it literally went on from there. Ruined my game of golf, I've got to say. It was worth it. If anything's going to ruin your game of golf, it's coming to America. Like a highlighter. Dutch Taurus, is this for making the ramp a little less steep? Well, yes, you got it right there, Dutch Taurus. You can quite clearly see now the angle of the ramp now, and of course those. It just makes it easier. Obviously, you need a nice steady ramp up into the aircraft rather than having to heave it up over up a steep ramp. And of course these extensions, the rails themselves, of course those rails are that's the first. I think that's just literally to line it up. They will then join on to the back of these ramps here that you can see there. They will sit in front of these the ramp there and then join up with them. I'm very impressed with those rollers, I've got to say. Let me just go and see how bit of resistance on them. They have nice smooth action. Wow. See, this initial, I guess this initial positioning is critical. I wouldn't say millimetre critical, I would say inch critical in terms of positioning it based on the dimensions of the track itself, which is which that is mounted to. So those skids or sleds, I guess you call it, it's like a giant sled really, will be pulled up into the aircraft, and then the lashing of the cargo itself is also a very impressive thing to see. Poor old deck. So many of these guys are. Whilst this all goes on, the airfield continues its operations. Where that one's in from. Just to let you know, folks, that if we get time tomorrow, the plan is to go and do a little bit of filming with our members. We're expecting this aircraft to fly out of here at 9 AM. I think the client is very keen to get this piece of freight installed, because obviously without the heat exchanger, whatever it is mounted to, cannot operate efficiently. Charlie Redpath, he's with us, albeit a little red-eyed, bleary-eyed, sorry. Paul Skilling, this has been a fantastic show. What a pleasure to be watching. Thank you, Paul. JQ, it amazes me how far they're going to extend it. Yeah, it comes out quite some way. I mean, you look at it now, folks, these ramps will probably come down to at least, I would imagine, this line here, maybe a little bit further. So it looks like what they're installing here is the guides. That guy's installing a guide pin. I think they're guide pins there, so that they're happy with the layout. Another piece coming in place. See, now once they've got one piece in and they're happy with the way it's set, then it literally falls into place quite quickly. You know what? I can probably find that out. Stand by. I'll just find out. Wisconsin, folks. The heat exchanger was manufactured. Get the gauge right, then you just lay down the tracks. Neil in Dorset, he's right, you know. That is literally it. Once you've got your distance, your spacing between the two sets of tracks, based on what the track system is that is on the heat exchanger itself, or on the cargo itself. And then the last piece should all fall into place. Bosh. There it is. Okay, so effective. So now they're going to extend that all the way up into the middle of the aircraft. Obviously, weights and balance have been extensively checked. They'll have a loading cargo sheet which will show all the lashing points as well. It's very important. They don't just throw a load of chains over the skids and then and lash it down. It's strategically lashed down, I think is the best way to describe it. Leon Fisher. Leon Fisher, where is the freight terminal relative to the passenger terminal? If you're looking at the airport north, east, south and west, it's on the east side, I think you'll find. At the end of 2-3, well actually the end of 8 and the beginning of 2-3. Dimitro, we're discussing the engine maintenance within Ukraine. Okay, Dimitro, great to have you here with us, folks. That is the IKEA edition. Brilliant. What's that, Jelly? It's an important part of the whole operation, isn't it? It's balance in terms of, like, you know, when the crane lifts it up so that it doesn't pitch left, pitch down or pitch back. Peter Groves. You can get steel cut toe cap trainers. You can indeed. Andrew Hickinbottom, is the APU still on? Don't think so, Andrew, because the systems are completely shut down now. I think they have an electrical supply. That generator, I don't know if that generator's on. Go and have a look and see if it's on. yes, it is on. The ground power unit is on to power the electrical systems. The hoists, for example, which are now being used right now. More of the tracks being brought down here using those hoists. Back doors, by the looks of it, I think that's the back door coming down, is it? The loading ramp at the back being opened up. So now they're going to use hoists to, this is obviously a piece of the fabricated steel for the skids to, for the framework to sit on. Possibly an extension of it, I'm not sure. But they're closing it up. That's pretty cool actually, you get to see that. Obviously not going to do that just yet. Your ground power unit operating the electrical and hydraulic systems, I think. there, folks. These guys are finishing touches to the because of course you've got to remember that once the freight is in, they then need to disassemble this whole track system. That in itself takes quite an extensive amount of time. But there's no rush, because it all needs to be done efficiently. Guy just coming down through the back there from the crew rest area. I think he's just double checking all the guide pins to make sure that they're in place, so that you don't have any movement in the track. A small amount of tolerance underneath the track, as you can see, is a little bit of the wooden feet, which allow a certain amount of give, obviously. No, that's right. He's happy with that. Yeah, I was talking earlier on about the wing on the 124. I think in terms of wing design, wing development, it's track systems are now ready to be put in place. brake system. Technicians will install the second part of the system. Good thing is that that's literally at height adjustable, of course, using the So this thing that we were talking about earlier on, folks, with the wing, supercritical airfoil is what we were talking about with the wing of this aircraft. And I think, to be honest with you, that almost all wings, especially those designed for these are obviously for transonic. I think it's transonic speed, and you have supersonic speed as well. It's an airfoil designed primarily to delay the onset of wave drag in a transonic speed range. So therefore controlling the airflow above and below the wing conventional and supercritical airfoils. So I think this is a supercritical airfoil. There are obviously conventional type, which is which doesn't have that sort of like it has a sort of like the back end of it, the back end of the wing has a sort of a graft out of it, which is quite interesting, characterized by their flattened upper surface, highly cambered downward curve aft section and larger leading edge radius. And when we talk about leading edge radius, of course, we're talking about that there, and that is ginormous, that leading edge there. Obviously is all relative. It's all relative to it's interesting that the oh, okay, so now they're gonna lift these up. So they're going to, obviously, with the help of the forklift, they'll lift that up, put it in, get it level, and then adjust the feet. Is obviously enjoying this quite come some way since it got here, folks. Screaming music now. Lucy, can you imagine how much money it costs to use the services of this company? Yeah. Well, then you've got the brokers as well as the agents, all in it together. Costs a lot of money just to shift any piece of freight. To be honest with you, even conventionally traditional freighter aircraft like a 767 or even a piece of freight on a passenger service jet. Arrow. The plane wasn't so darn impressive. We can talk about those monster 18 rounds. They are well. The crane is pretty impressive. I guess Rich, Big Rich. Ross Gin will be waiting and waiting for his part to play his part in this operation in terms of the crane. But I think we're still some ways off of that, folks. Simon Lai, yes, absolutely. It is expensive, but like he says, these guys are the only guys when it comes to moving outside freight. You would not be able to get this thing inside a 747. Even through the nose, the dimensions wouldn't allow it. But also, the other critical thing to remember is that the 747 can only take up to a certain tonnage in terms of a single piece. That is obviously putting it in the center of the aircraft. So that's why these jets are used for the heavy lift stuff. Those sorts of things is it sounds great, but it sounds great, but it doesn't look as impressive, because when they transport these exotic components like monster trucks or Formula One cars or anything, generally they're all boxed up in crates, and you don't generally get to see the vehicles themselves. The wheels will be off, partially dismantled, so it will look more or less like standardized freight. I'm going to have to move myself here because I think I'm going to be in the way shortly, because there are going to be the leading edge part of this freight, this ramp system. Question is, are those parts actually going to be used? I wonder if those parts are actually going to be used. I could ask the guy, couldn't I? Let's see. I seem to remember the one in Mount Pincer. It didn't go right the way down to the ground, so to speak, because they. they literally lift. No, I know, but that. Yeah, that was the mounting system for to haul it up in the air. They couldn't get the bolt in, could they? They couldn't get the bolt in to yeah. But I think that is the end of the track. I think they will haul the piece. I think it's long enough. It extends enough to when you look at the track itself. The track of the actual piece itself is only just a little bit longer than one of these pieces, so will extend over probably about a foot or two over the end of that. So theoretically, that is the ramp built. Well, to an extent. I know what those pieces are for over there. I think they're actually the let's see if I can figure it out. To be honest with you, I've got absolutely no idea. I'm clueless. The only obvious thing I can see is those plates there possibly will be for the upper section of these, but I don't know if that may be a separate loading system altogether that they use on for another piece of cargo. They may have used it on the recent piece that they did with Ross. Is Ross still here? Is Ross able to tell us whether or not that is a separate assembly to that? Let's ask. Maybe we're going to go ask the fellow. Folks, just want to say a big shout out to Stan Sleff, who's our man over there. Very, very nice fella. Gets to fly all over the world with these guys, overseeing the operation on behalf of Antonov. Been with Antonov for 9 years, and a really nice fella, a really nice guy, and he's very lucky. Now, if you haven't seen the flight deck, and obviously, you know, you can Google it. Ooh, blimey, hold on a minute. Very humbling, you know, very humbling guy. Quite shy, but diamond geezer. Something leading there, aren't they? These guide tracks of some sort, possibly. What about our man on the ground who knows his stuff? What are these? Are these guide? Dawson looking forward to the flight deck. Oh. Nick Gray, are you absolutely sure you did that? I hope it's meant to do that and hasn't accidentally. It's not too late, or he's had a few glasses of wine. Oh blimey, Nick, if you have, wow, really? Alex, my father flew this aircraft as a technician and my father-in-law as an aircraft designer. He designed this aircraft. My goodness me. Wow. So obviously worked with the Antonov Design Bureau, I'm thinking. What a heritage in your family, Alex. Mark B, there is strength there in the triangular structure and weight distribution across the multiple legs. Yes, obviously he's talking about, if you look at that kind of structure there, very much like the geodetic structure. I think they call it a geodetic structure actually, much like the old Wellington bomber was designed geodetically. And yes, there is an immense amount of strength in there. In fact, you see a lot of modern buildings these days have that kind of design structure inside them to distribute the weight evenly and the stress on the component. There's also angular columns in there as well, so the whole thing is designed specifically. Of course, back in the day, I don't know when computer-aided design became the norm, but obviously before computer-aided design, you had to rely on super special technicians and designers like Alex's father-in-law, I think it was. Stephen Sampson, this is awesome team working. Remember the 225 stream. Great work, Jerry and Jilly. Yes, thank you. Yes, Nick, we're still trying to establish that wasn't great. Dimitro. So I'm going to position over there, yeah, from the side on. Okay folks, stand by, hold tight, we are going to move because the crane is coming into position. Hold on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, load, 2, 3. Here we go. So he'll position himself side on, I think, or at an angle, possibly. Here comes his support vehicle with the plates, etc. So he's obviously got a full 360-degree rotation on that crane. So he's able to position him side on. Is Ross in the house? Ronald with Wings is a new member. Welcome, Ronald. Hold on a minute, Ronald. I was seeing somebody yesterday that spoke to Ronald. Anyway, is he? Is it just his dog isn't known, I think it is. Oh, Nick Gray, you are an amazing person, as well as everybody else as well who's donated. But my goodness me, mate, what can I say? Honestly, a little bit overwhelmed by that, to be honest with you. Hey look, it's a truck with wings. Proper Peterbilt truck. Nick, you are an incredible person. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody who's donated as well. You are all amazing people, and you will sleep beautifully. Yeah. O'Malley, draftsman. Draftsman, that's what he's talking about before. CAD, CAD, computer-aided design was well, developed really. Designing on computer. A draftsman, of course. On the old, I used to love doing technical drawing at school. That's one thing I was good at, because I was technically minded and I really enjoyed, you know, not designing stuff, so to speak, but doing technical drawing and everything evolved around it. So that was pretty cool. Might get an interesting. So now what they will do is our friend Will, who's again one of these guys who's been very, very patient all day waiting. These guys will now need to, in fact I think I might have a little walk around here. Nicely running in there. That's dead battery. gonna back this. So now, these are the support legs. Let's distribute the weight. Underneath those support legs will go a set of discs. Now to get those discs off, they will need to possibly crane them off. Oh, unless they're lightweight. It might be lightweight, I don't know. Yeah, I think they might, yeah, they are, yeah, they are lightweight. Okay, so they're like carbon, like a composite type plate, which then sits underneath that and distributes the weight even more. Because if you plonk that that leg, that hydraulic, that leg on the directly to the concrete, it will potentially, in fact, it probably would damage the concrete. So they obviously need to. Okay, so here we have these. There's your length. There it is. Basically, the length of. What did I say? I said the length of one of those, and a couple of feet over. What did I say? A couple of feet over, didn't I? Look at that, a couple of feet over. How good am I? So basically, those the component itself, the cargo, let's call it, will sit on those. They've got a couple of very Heath Robinson style, I know, but those two pieces of 2x2, which are rammed in the front of there, stop those from falling forward because they are on the rollers now. So they will move on the rollers with the cargo on top of it. Literally as simple as that. Now, how do they get it in there? Well, they will attach cables. See what we might do. While they're doing that, let's get counterbalance weights, I think. Is it going to use counterbalance? Yes, yes it is. So, this composite design of some sort. It's going to be pulled all the way up into the back there, which is basically the point of the perfect center of gravity, straight over the middle, as you can see there, right over the middle, the optimum positioning. So these are the, wow, 10-ton counterweight that's going to be so that's interesting. They need to so this is to basically stop the vehicle, to even the load on the vehicle, of course. Are they able to drag that off of there, or are they going to have to reposition the truck? Alright. Oh, hello, step ladder coming out. That's a health and safety thing, I think, putting the flag up there, isn't it? Call it a mass balance weight, possibly. Just going to lift that up and stick that. It's not so much, it's to balance the truck out, I think, itself. I think that's going. I think it's going to plonk it on there, possibly. I think so. It's a big old ram in it. Look at that ram.
Just off the record, the concerns are asking that, whoever, I know it's not okay, but not avoid showing the consign.
The blue plate.
Yeah, the stuff on the
Yeah, no, we're not going to show that.
Either blurred or just, it's more of a commercial. See what I mean? I'll show you.
I know what you're saying, because we showed the center balance.
Yeah, but because it's 4K, if there's like anything that's basically the clients don't want to show the consign.
They can't see it. They can't see it.
No,
they definitely can't see it. I know what you're saying. I understand.
Or has to do with commercial
yeah, 100%. Yeah. And we've got that capability of blurring as well later on. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask.
Thanks, man. Copy GP. That was the. It's the. It wasn't the consignee on the side. I hope so. Which
This is what we were showing basically.
oh, that.
Yeah, that.
Oh, okay. I've got you. Yeah. We can just we can blur that out. Yeah. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. Did I? All right. Wow, look at the way that's lifted. So I'm just going to plonk that right on there. Lights are on. We're ready to go. Ten tons, man. Didn't even make it flinch. Right, that's that part done, I think. We're see that in here. More straps. Is that those plates going over it as well? Those plates are going on as well. Okay. Just trying to keep a little bit. with the. Okay. Yes. Yeah, exactly right. Okay. Are you able to find that part? You should be able to find the part, right? It's obviously. Okay, so these are the straps now being lifted to lift the cargo onto the tracks, and then she will obviously be hoisted in there using their electrical hoist system. So the estimated time of departure is now 10:30 tomorrow morning, folks. That's the adjusted time that we believe this aircraft is going to be going out. So we will be here airside to catch that departure. Now we're waiting for the cargo itself. Isn't it? Oversized. Oh, closer. 10:30 local time, that is, folks. So about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. About 5:30 in the afternoon UK time, I think that is. Is it? Is it? Oh. No, 10:30. 10:30. D-Stew, yes, we will be getting some rest between tonight, tomorrow, and 10:30. Yes, we will. Impressive structure, isn't it? Alex, unique equipment, 2 levels for transporting cars inside the aircraft. I don't know if she was in. She could have suffered. Big track TV Tobias, JQ, Bruce McDonald, Lloyd Bell, Tobias, Alex. Wrong is a little bit wrong. Still going to be because the weight is already, the load is already installed on the beams. Okay. Thank you, sir. Oh, it's 5 hours, is it? Los Angeles, for crying out loud. looks like they're ready to lift. Wow, that was quick. They didn't mess about getting that on there, did they? Wow. Okay, so obviously there's a track system as well, as you can see there, and that's, I'll be honest with you, we're not far off really. What we're going to do, folks, is we're going to cover the load being lifted and placed on the ramp, and then pulled into the aircraft, and then we're going to obviously not going to hang around for another hour and a half while they dismantle that ramp system, because that's another quite lengthy procedure, and then we will be back tomorrow morning to catch the startup, taxi and departure of the aircraft. Now it is a lottery as to exactly where she goes. We go. Do you know what I'm going to do quickly? I think I prefer the big over here. And that sounds crazy, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I... Nice steps! Just got a better shot in there. Expensive business, that's why they get it done quick. Well, I've been here all bleeding day, to be honest with you. Okay, so I think this guy's pulling the they're going to get that in there pretty quick, because the pads that they are, or the plates that they're settling her down on are obviously running on those runners, on those rollers. Now this is quite critical right now in terms of positioning it on those plates. Alignment is what it's all about. That thing's got to go in straight. She's down. She's down. Now these the crew will attach the pulleys, a couple of cables literally, to the oh no, she's still in the air. So just a slight adjustment, because you don't want any overhang or anything crazy like that. And like I say, that base plate assembly, which has been made specifically for this piece of cargo, will be recycled. I don't know if I'm not seeing any slack at this point in time, but a very simple cable system will now be attached, and she will be hoisted up. It's impressive, isn't it, that only a very small portion of the crane's reach has been used. See how much that can extend. God knows how many feet, but it's an impressive piece of equipment, that's for sure. Okay, slack coming off. Weight is now fully on the ramp, 35 tons being held up by that ramp system, which again you have to appreciate how impressive that is. take up the slack on the cables and start hoisting this thing in. Weight is 72,000. I'm guessing that's 72,000 pounds. Is that right? Is that to? Yeah, look at that. Look how smoothly that thing slides. Wow, that's impressive. That's really impressive. What about you? Mine's it's only mine. Park that right there, or is he going to pull that further forward? Further forward, keep it coming forward there. Good man. Thank you, sir. Easy does it. So I'm guessing what basically happens inside that heat exchanger will be hot fluids or whatever they might be enter at one end, and it's cooled through baffles internally within the structure, and then it comes out at the other end cool, I'm guessing. Is that right? My take on a heat exchanger, basically it turns hot element into a cool element. Would that be right? Probably completely wrong. Lots of people still here enjoying the footage. Good to see you folks. Glad you enjoyed it. Got a great shot this morning. Earlier on of the aircraft as it arrived into gate, it was, or onto the pad. It was fantastic, and again, got to say a big shout out to WFS and Daniel for getting us out here. Of course, Alex, who's part of the crew as well, looking after it for the folks in the UK. Alex, of course, from Airline Cargo Express, and ACS, who are the folks that you can see down there on your screen, the brokers handling this whole putting this whole thing together for the client. Coordination, logistics, and those guys, if you look them up, they've done some quite crazy stuff as well. I think they were something to do with the Iron Maiden 747, I believe. Have to confirm that, but I think they might have been involved in some way with Bruce Dickinson flying that 747 on the world tour. What did they call it? They called it what did they call that jet? Ed Force One, wasn't it? It's called Ed Force One. That was it. Had a collision with a ground unit or something like that. Damaged one of the cowlings, I believe, or just the maybe the leading edge cowl. I'm not sure, but anyway, yeah, those guys extensively involved in anything aviation related. If you're obviously, us lot, we're not lucky enough to have enough money to go on a private jet. But if you have, those guys are all over it. They know their stuff. Get you from A to B in your luxury jet. Luxury. Big project as well. I mean, they would have been amongst others who would have been contending for this particular operation, but having the heritage that they have, as have WFS, to be honest with you, in terms of handling and operational handling agents. I think that's what they're let's just have a look here, because I see them a lot at London Heathrow. We do see their vehicles a lot at Heathrow. Worldwide Freight Services, global air cargo logistics leader, and the #1 global operator in cargo handling. That's what they're saying on their website. So again, we do see them quite a lot. So interesting that they're taking up the slack here. They're going to pull her in a little bit more. Obviously, those ties there have been basically, as soon as these guys with the vehicles are on their way out, we're going to leave as well, folks. Was I right on the heat exchange? Let's just see if I've got Yeah. Arrow, been watching Big Jet for so many hours and still not my bedtime. It's already very late in Kiev. I think everything will happen very quickly. I'm going to sleep. Alex, thank you very much indeed. May have missed you, my friend, unfortunately. Roncino, loving the show. Midday here in Brisbane. Great way to spend a Sunday. Wow, how about that? Actually looks quite tiny, doesn't it? Kevin Fisher, it's like a car radiator. Okay. So it basically cools the water. Superfly Steve. 8 Teradek Virginia. Stephen Remy, thank you. Carlos. Martin Smith. LA girl. Sigint, I think it is. Thank you very much indeed, Sigint. Hot to cool or cool to hot, either way, Jay Savvy. Thank you. So I was right. Pate Laros, here we go. Glacial speed. I think it's a bit faster than that, mate, but I know what you mean. Glacial speed. Alex, now the technicians will temporarily moor the cargo. This is necessary to move the winch and continue loading. Ah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Right. Well, we are nearly done, folks. That's part one. Again, thank you to everybody involved. It's been great. Thank you so much to Antonov. Thank you to you guys for hanging in there and watching. We've really appreciated your company. We will be back tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for updates in terms of timings, folks. We're expecting it to go out around about 10:30 in the morning, but we are hoping to be here a little bit earlier so that we can get up on the flight deck and show you guys that incredible flight deck before they shut the doors and get the hell out of Dodge. Where she's going out on which runway, we're not sure, but one thing's for sure, we will get her either climbing out that way or whichever way she goes out. We'll get her taxiing off into the distance, but either way we will more than likely get the climb out, I'd imagine. But what's important to me is getting here for that onboard show inside the flight deck with that great crew. Can I just say, folks, thank you to everybody who has donated and raised money for the Ukrainian effort. Unbelievable. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. Is it Nick Gray? Sorry, Nick. Yes, everybody for donating, regardless of the amount. But Nick, really, I've got to say, mate, you're a trooper. Thank you, my friend. That will be graciously received, I'm sure, by our friends out in Ukraine. And it's great to see these guys still flying. 5 aircraft still operational with Antonov Airlines. Thank you to Valeria. Thank you to everybody involved in the whole operation. All the people involved right the way through the whole logistics path. We will be back tomorrow to see this beautiful aircraft get ready to go out and go out. thank you to everybody. Thanks for Chile as well, once again, and we will see you tomorrow. Well, actually, later, if you're in the UK. There's people out there like birds are tweeting and like cock-a-doodle-doo. Okay, folks, thank you so much. Look after yourselves, and we will see you tomorrow or later, whenever it might be. Depends on where you are, really. Thank you.